The USL Championship weekend coming to a close with Sunday night action from MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey here on ESPN+. David Goss and Connor Lade with you for New York Red Bulls 2 against New Mexico United. And Connor, this is the first time that has ever been said as these two clubs match up for the first time in their history.
History being made here today, and New York Red Bull 2 is getting a very tough team on the road. 6-2-3 away from home. Home being a very good atmosphere as well, but they find the magic on the road this year, and so New York is in for a tough test against New Mexico United here tonight. A
ton of New Mexico United fans in the building, excited to see their club come to the East Coast, and they're going to be led in the attack by Justin Portillo, who has been money from the spot.
Justin Portillo, 6 goals, 3 assists on the year, 5 goals from the penalty spot, and when you can hit the ball like this, no keeper in the world is going to save that. He's just absolutely clinical. So for New York tonight, they have to be very on their best behavior within the confines of the 18-yard box, or else they're going to be seeing this guy in the end of the score sheet.
Portillo will pull the strings in midfield. On the flip side for New York Red Bulls too, some big names in the lineup, with Jordan Adebayo-Smith starting to find his scoring form.
Yeah, Jordan Adebayo-Smith, you've seen a more confident player in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, got off to the year pretty well. Nice left-footed goal here, showing his prowess with both feet. But I love seeing him, what he's shown on the right wing this year. They moved him out a couple games ago, and I like seeing him in open spaces, being able to be direct in his movements behind and mixing it up when it combined underneath. So I think it's going to be a promising position for him, and I'm excited to see him there again tonight.
New Mexico kick off a week with 3 games. New York Red Bulls 2 try to get back into winning ways. We'll be back in just a moment with all your action coming up here on ESPN+.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish. The teenager in front of his academy teammates. Hey everybody, welcome back to MSU Soccer Park and ESPN+. David Goss and Connor Lade with you.
Bro 5.
The dynamic duo here, ready for some USL Championship soccer. We have dignitaries left and right, by the way. Conrad Pleva, David Najem, Troy Lassine, all of them sitting right around us. So maybe we'll start to pull them in and they can join us here in the booth. Let's take a look at New Mexico United, the back 5, as we expect. One of the strengths of this team, though, that central midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Zira Portillo, we talked about Portillo in the opening, but Zira, that experience that he lends to this team is absolutely incredible. And then you get another guy, Nico Brett, up top, 6 goals on the year. This is a very dangerous team offensively.
And on the flip side for New York Red Bulls, 3 players in the starting lineup who are on the field backs tonight against FC Barcelona. Hassan and Dom at center back, Curtis Afori at left back, and Ovante Mullings at right back. So I guess if you've done it against Dembele, you should be able to figure it out here in USL Championship.
You'd figure that'd be the case. I mean, it's going to be a tough test here tonight, but some great experience for these young players getting to play against the best players in the world last night, and I know only smiling faces after that one.
2 Ugandan legends in the building, Michael Azir on the field, and Ibrahim Sakaya, one of the greats in that nation's history, interim head coach. And on the other side is Zach Prince, his second year as the head coach of this team, replaced Troy Lesane, who we'll talk about in a bit, who's up here with us, and of course has scored against New York Red Bulls too in his time with Charleston. Austin Siney, our head official for this one, as we get ready to kick off here from Montclair State University. New Mexico United, and they're all yellow kits, top and bottom, going right to left on your screens. New York Red Bulls too, the black kits and the white shorts going left to right as we are going here for the first time ever. New Mexico United against New York Red Bulls too in USL Championship action. And you can hear the New Mexico United fans in the area. As we said, they don't come this way very often. And then add on top, Armando Moreno, former New York Red Bull homegrown, former Red Bull 2 leading goal scorer. He is on the bench for the first time since October of 2021 to return from ACL surgery. He grew up 15 minutes from here. I think half the stadium might just be related to Armando Moreno.
100%. You can see, you look down to our left, and there's tons of Armando Moreno jerseys down there. The whole family's out here today, and getting to speak to him a little bit before the game here, and he's just thrilled to be back on the bench. Obviously going through a long ACL recovery, but he's super positive, and we're excited to see him back healthy and making this homecoming here today. And told him I'd give him a little shout on the air, so shout out to you, Armando. Congratulations, buddy.
5 goals last year for New Mexico in 2018 with New York Red Bulls 2. 9 goals, 3 assists. He was one of their best players, a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals as Kiesewetter breaks in, and it's cleared out by Hassan Endam.
A little bit of a misjudged header there from Afori. Gives a good opportunity for New Mexico. Kiesewetter trying to find Brett, who was lurking at the back post for a tap-in, just couldn't get that ball right across.
So it'll be a corner kick coming here for this New Mexico team as Suggs comes over, takes a little bit of water early on here. Overcast now as we get ready for kickoff. It was all the way up in the high 80s here throughout this day. Just over 80 right now at the time of kickoff. You can see the El Salvador supporters here for Armando Moreno, as well as since he left New York Red Bulls, he's officially declared for El Salvador and appeared in 5 World Cup qualifiers for them as well. This one goes short. Suggs, the captain, over it. Curls this cross in, headed away by Endam. Second header back in from Azira. Endam wins it again, and Michael Knapp finally able to clear it out. New York Red Bulls, too, coming back from California off the back. A 2-0 loss to Monterey Bay. First time those had ever met as well. And this New Mexico side, 2-2 draw at Detroit. 92nd minute equalizer for Neko Brett off the assist from Devin Sandoval as they continue their fine away form. And as I said, 3 games this week. They go home, they host Sacramento Republic, who of course have a lot going on right now in their own. And then after all of that, at the end of the week, they still have to play against Miami FC. So tough week for New Mexico United.
Tough sledding ahead for sure, but a team that is so deep, and they just have so many weapons on the bench. You can see the type of experience they have on that bench here today, and Zach Prince has quite the roster to make some serious noise in this league, regardless of the opponent coming up.
On top of the potential debut of Armando Moreno this season, it could be the New Mexico United debut for Romario Williams. He signed on July 13th, has yet to play. He is available on the bench, was warming up with the side. Of course, longtime player across North America, drafted by Montreal, played with Atlanta United too, Atlanta United, Charleston Battery, alongside Zach Prince, and has played for Jamaica in World Cup qualifying and Gold Cup action. So, just a casual addition of a guy who scored, I believe it's 40 USL goals in his career, an average of 1 for every 14 and a half minutes he's played in USL, and that's on top of Kiesewetter and Neko Brett and everything out there. See the footwork there from Tete. He draws the foul, dribbling through the press. Tete, part of the back 5. We've seen a couple teams play with the back 5 here. How does it affect the way Red Bulls press, and how does it sort of as a team that plays a back five, how do you sort of play through the pressure?
Yeah, you can actually see the way New Mexico is playing right now, keeping both their wing backs very high, and Seymour's dropping into that space, and they're looking for him to feed, and he's just not even looking. He's one time hooking it behind this back line, trying to challenge them where they have been challenged all year. So Curtis Safori, I'm sure, is going to be aware of that. Cragwell, they both have to be super aware of. They're not even looking. It's going to be a blind ball behind the lines, and, you know, they found a recipe for success against the opponents on the field this year. Obviously, like we talked about, 6-2-3 away from home. Extremely impressive road form.
Opportunity here. Endom again with the interception. Azira brings it in. Can't control it. And now Steven Serwada wins it back. Serwada spending a lot of time with the MLS side over the last few weeks. And the opportunity here in USL Championship as Curtis Ofori earns that foul.
But sorry, getting back to it, I think it makes it an absolutely imperative for New York to win the battle of the midfield in between, you know, not necessarily on the flanks. They're going to be busy there, but I think Castellano, Knapp, Serwada, they've got to be dominant within the middle of the field here, because there's a lot of very good players they're matched up against with a lot of experience. In Azira, Seymour, Portillo. So it's going to be, my eyes are on that, and, you know, whoever's going to win the middle of the field is going to probably be with the upper hand here tonight.
Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select League's Choice, Player's Choice. Cragwell knocks that Select ball out of play. Most recently here, we saw the Pittsburgh Riverhounds play in that back five, and Alex Dixon as left wing back was the menace. All of them were off those, as you said, those blind big switches out of midfield as Bruce tries to turn upfield and turns it over. Carmona into Adebayo Smith, and he can't link up with Ryan.
But this is where it's huge. Transition moments for New York when those two wingbacks are pushed up the field. And if you can get an early turnover, that's where the spaces that you have to exploit. Get Wiki Carmona, Jordan Adebayo Smith in spaces where they can succeed. And so they have a good opportunity here tonight. If they're able to have that press going and win some balls early, they got to get to goal quick.
Knocking it around the back here. Yearwood, Ryden, and Tete, the three center backs, and now Suggs charging up field. Cut off quickly. The Las Cruces, New Mexico native Josh Suggs, one of a number of New Mexico natives in this team. As Azira sprays it wide, brought down by Bruce. 1v1 with Ofori. Ofori closes him down. Bruce still on the ball. And man, good physicality there from Carmona and Castellano. Portillo cuts back. And Mullings with the interception and immediately straight up the middle. Mullings, not one of the players who spent as much time in the MLS side as some of these other players. So for him yesterday, a real special moment. Not just to play against Barcelona, which is a bucket list thing, as Kissevetter now is in on the break. Puts it across and tapped in. The opening for New Mexico United on the road. Nico Brett, his 7th goal of the season.
Nico Brett, one man you cannot leave open at the back post, and Kissevetter's just been absolutely having a field day behind this back line in the early going so far. He's looked quite dangerous and gets his head up. No one steps to him. Cragwell and Ofori. You have a little situation there where no one's picking up Brett, and that's just something you cannot do. New Mexico up 1-0 early here.
Jerome Kissevetter traded from FC Tulsa to New Mexico in the middle of the season. He picks up his 2nd assist of the year to go along with 2 goals. So ideal start here for New Mexico on the road. Serwada closed down the yellow shirts, swarming right now on New York Red Bulls 2. And another through ball. And Kissevetter's off to the races again. He's got Brett once again and intercepted by Cragwell.
What a play there by Cragwell. Surely that looked like it was going to be 2-0 within 10 minutes here. Kissevetter, almost a carbon copy goal there. Just too easy from New York, allowing Kissevetter to get behind, and Cragwell making a last-ditch effort to keep this 1-0 here.
Is the issue the lack of pressure on the ball played through, or is it the lack of Mullings or positioning around Kissevetter?
It just happens to be both at the moment, which is not easy to diagnose. I mean, the press is not getting there, which in turn, you have to realize that at the back, and you have to be ultra aware about dropping and making sure you're getting numbers. But when you're stepping forward and they're
this one comes in, Bruce trying to get his head to it.
and the back line stepping up and the guys in front of you are not getting at the ball, it's a big problem, especially in this system.
One of the big erasers for moments like that over the course of the season was Juan Castillo. He has been maybe the top performer for New York Red Bulls too, mainly at center back, and he is out for an extended period of time now with an injury. He is here supporting the team, and that's one of those players who, when there are issues like that, he makes up for other people's mistakes, and not available to New York Red Bulls 2 today.
Yeah, I think that's, we didn't talk about it off the top when we had the lineups here, but probably the biggest story of the night for New York Red Bull 2, not having Juan Castillo, Jeremy Raffanello. Arguably their two most important players, Jeremy Raffanello going forward, Juan Castillo locking things down at the back. It's two big losses for this team, and we're hoping to see them back eventually, but we're hearing that they both could be missing a decent part of the rest of this season with extended period of time with their respective injuries. So not ideal for this New York Red Bull 2, but good opportunity for some of these other young players to step up.
Yeah, frustrating for this New York Red Bull 2 side as under Ibrahim Sakaya, they started to find their feet once again. Some options have been available to them. Hassan Endam, pickup midway through this season at center back. This now his second game. And then right as that happens, you lose the two most reliable players over the course of the early part of the season. Castillo with that hamstring injury, and as we said, with Jeremy Raffanello, of course, I think everyone saw the tackle and the red card in the last game against Monterey Bay.
All right.
And now he is out with that injury. And two players that maybe that'll be it for them with Red Bulls 2 because of how well they've performed.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's, as tough as a blow it is for the team, for these players having, the opportunities that they've had, the type of years they've had personally, it's ultra frustrating, but, they're getting the best care for themselves, and they'll be back soon.
That ball played through, not able to connect. Giannis Nikopolidis, the goalkeeper, in place of AJ Marcucci, another big-time performer who is out for the season. Marcucci, shoulder injury, in a scary moment here at MSU Soccer Park. Fortunately, not as serious an injury as first expected, but Nikopolidis now has taken over as the full-time goalkeeper for this side. Ball over the top to Brett, who was offside, but Bruce coming from an onside position. Bruce with the shot, and Nikopolidis makes the save.
Yeah, the New York backline fell asleep there, thinking that they were going to call Brett offside there, and big heads-up play there from Bruce to realize that he can get on the end of this, and gives it a good go with the left foot, but Nikopolidis was there to stand up, make an easy enough save. But that's where you have to be just ultra aware of what's going on around you, and you can't fall asleep for a second.
Ball over the top from Nat. Mullings on the chase, and it's cleared away by Alex Tambakis. So great goalkeepers on both sides here today. Nikopolidis through the Olympiakos Academy, Tambakis through the Panathinaikos Academy. Both getting the starts here at MSU Soccer Park.
Yeah, Tambakis has been so solid this year, 4 clean sheets so far in the year. Been a big part of why they have had such good success there on the road.
Brett picks this one up. Already sitting on a goal. Puts it out towards Bruce. Bruce trying to nudge Ofori off. That one gets called for the foul.
Bruce has been extremely active in the early going so far. He's been flying up and down this right side. Curtis Ofori is going to have a handful for the rest of this match, but if they actually looked up and found him earlier, he was streaking, and if they would have found, they went to the left side, if they would have looked up his way, he could have been one-on-one with Nico Politis.
Daniel Bruce out of England, came over to the U.S. to play at UNC Charlotte, and has been with New Mexico his whole professional career. Phenomenal year last year. And he's already got 1 goal and 3 assists this season. He has been a factor so far along the right side, playing right wing back. Yearwood comes inside. Tambakis with the clearance right up the middle to Kiesewetter. Bruce holding his run. And the flag goes up now.
When you talk about that these two wing backs are playing high up the field, Bruce is on that back line, towing the, looking exactly where these center backs are and trying to time his run here. It's 0 defensive obligations in the early going here. He has been an attacking weapon so far as Adebayo Smith looking to make something happen.
To Ryan, the slide tackle though. The perfect moment from Ryan.
Great little footwork there from Adebayo Smith and good strength to hold off, and clever little ball to play through to Zach Ryan. Nearly got there, but big play by Ryden.
Yearwood now with the big switch.
He's such an important defender for this team, such great experience, and another player that we didn't talk about when we talk about the experience that these teams have, but a USL champion. I mean, absolutely incredible defender, and again, one of the great players that Coach Prince has in his stables.
Yeah, Ryden, a champion with Real Monarchs in 2019, and this is a New Mexico team that's been built in a lot of different ways, players coming from a lot of different backgrounds, but there are 2 somewhat consistent themes. One is former players that are associated to Charleston Battery and players that are associated to Real Monarchs. Of course, Troy Lesane, who, as we talked about, is the current assistant coach for New York Red Bulls. He was the first ever head coach and technical director for New Mexico United. He played and grew up with Zach Prince. He brought Zach Prince in. He brought in a lot of these players. He has now moved on to New York Red Bulls to be Gerhard Struber's assistant. Zach Prince taking over, and you look at guys like Justin Portillo, who broke through from College of Charleston into the Charleston Battery, Romario Williams, as we said, and then Zach Prince going to play at Real Monarchs. And listen, those are 2 franchises that Real Monarchs won a USL championship. Charleston's been one of the most storied franchises in the USL. So you might as well pull from what works. I mean, it's worked so far for Zach Prince.
Absolutely, yeah. And having a guy like Troy Lesane, obviously, such a fantastic coach, and New York Red Bulls are thrilled to have him in their coaching staff. But you can see his footprint that he left here, and the type of success and the culture that they built around this club speaks a lot about the type of the coach he is, but more so the man that he is, and kind of building things from the ground up. What an experience that is, and they've built something truly special in New Mexico.
So Lesane grew up in West Columbia, South Carolina with Zach Prince, and then I believe coached him at College of Charleston, and then of course with him at the Charleston Battery. And Zach Prince only 34 years old, head coach of this team. Lesane only 38, so he was 34 when he took over originally, as Azira's now chasing, and Cragwell will put it out, and it sort of shows it's worked for New Mexico, which is not following the pattern. They've sort of set their own standard of the way they do things, the Meow Wolf on the jersey, all the creativity in their stadium, Isotope Park, and the way they go about their fan experience, but also the way they've built this team.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Something truly special, and you can see the dividends being paid already. And New York looking to spoil that road for him here tonight, pick up a big home win, but they've got some work to do. New Mexico's looked dangerous off the bat, up 1-0.
And it is the challenge for this New York Red Bull 2 side to raise their game to the quality of opponents that they're facing off against. Some full internationals in Brett and Azira on the field as Azira goes down there. No call made, and that was Black Crane on Black Crane right there, as Steven Serwata getting called up a few months ago for the first time ever for Uganda. And Michael Azira has been an international since 2016 for Uganda as well, and those two get to face off in midfield. What a weekend for Steven Serwada. It was Busquets yesterday, and now Michael Azira here today.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible the type of experience he's had, and already in his young career, it's fantastic young prospect coming through this New York Red Bulls organization.
Bruce plays that one in. Serwada now picks it up, looking for the run of Carmona. He wasn't able to keep that one on track. Yearwood sliding that one over. Portillo now sitting in that midfield. Ryan puts the pressure on. Kiesewetter been effective so far in his build-up play. Ryan in a battle. Azira comes away with it. Through ball now to Kiesewetter. Jerome Kiesewetter in one-on-one. His cross to the far post, headed up by Endam. Serwada heads it away. Knapp knocks it down. And Red Bulls 2 recover.
And New York Red Bull 2 a little bit lucky there. Kiesewetter, his second touch just took him away from goal. I think if he takes that second touch a little bit more direct, they're going to get a better look there. But the second touch took him a little bit wider than he probably expected. Tried to hook one in and save the play, but New York Red Bull 2 were able to break that one up. But again, too much space behind the ball, and New Mexico, they're just parking guys on the back line as they go here again.
Bruce now through to Kiesewetter once again. The cross to the far post, and it bounces, and Suggs puts it in the sky.
Just way too much room, and Avante Mullings getting caught as Suggs. You could see he's calling for it about 15 paces before he's even in the box, and Kiesewetter delivers a beautiful ball, just unfortunately short hops Suggs there, and he puts it over the top, but New Mexico is looking extremely dangerous here tonight.
One of those moments to got to take everyone behind the scenes. We sit up here in the broadcast booth, and on the roof above us is where the analysts sit, and technical director Dennis Hamlet just climbed up the ladder to go help them out. That is the man doing everything for a club.
That's right. True do all.
Nico Politis blasts that one long. Carmona picks this one up. Over to Ryan. Ryan inside. And immediately surrounded by yellow jerseys.
Yeah, I think Carmona needs to put that ball out a little bit ahead of Zach Ryan. Put it into his feet there and force him to come back inside. Great tackle there by Endam.
After all of that, then the whistle goes against him. And Hassan Endam knows what he's doing. He knew the quick start was on against him. So he continued to dribble and then went down under the pressure after the foul was called. So it was, I think the conversation right now is it last man? Is there a card that needs to be given?
Right.
I think Endam steps in to win a 50-50, and so it's not that he's killing an attack here. But Nico Brett saying he is the last defender on the field for Red Bulls 2 in that sequence of play. I think that would be a harsh red card to give.
I agree. I agree with that statement. We'll see when he looks like he's going to get a yellow card here. Nothing surprised me. I mean, when Hassan Endam is in and around a tackle, these legs are just absolutely massive, which why I thought he immediately won that ball there. And so, you know, playing against him for a long time, you never know where that leg is coming from, but picks up the yellow card there. And I agree. I think it would have been a harsh red card.
The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County SC looks for a late season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. That, of course, 11 days after the U.S. Open Cup final. Sacramento Republic, the first lower division team in a final since 2008. As that one's driven across the box, knocked down, and Mullings now will dribble it out. Mullings, ball up the line for Adebayo Smith, who can't bring it under control. So Another dangerous look for this New Mexico side. Azira clipped over the top. And heads it back. And the foul will go against Seymour. So we've seen a ton in the attack for New Mexico here. About midway through this first half. Feels like New York Red Bulls to have settled a little bit since that opening spurt of Kiesewetter breakaways. But they still have not been able to find anything in the attack themselves.
No, I think everything's been breaking down, especially when they win the ball. They've been extremely sloppy and giving the ball back almost immediately right away. And, you know, sometimes a little bit too many touches on the ball from the players in the attacking third. I think they haven't been very aggressive running in behind. I think they need to, you know, maybe get a little bit more direct at times to open up this game. And Michael Knapp's down there, a hold in his ankle, but I think it's just extremely way too much time. New Mexico's being able to dictate the play, which is something that you play in this New York Red Bull 2 system. You want to be aggressive. You want this press in your face type mentality, and we haven't seen that here on display here tonight.
So now a little bit of an injury concern. Michael Knapp being dealt with. Knapp, the first ever Montclair State former player to play here for New York Red Bulls 2. We're going to sit down with him a little bit longer at halftime to chat with him about his role on this team. Stunning shot against Monterey Bay. They hit the top left corner and just bounced out instead of in. Would have made it 1-1 at the time. So free kick coming. New York Red Bulls 2 down a man here at home. Down a goal. 9th minute goal for Nico Brett, his 7th of the season. And the assist from Kiesewetter as that one's flicked on. Ryan pursuing in the corner. Suggs flips it up the line to Seymour. And Knapp off the sideline with his quote-unquote injury. Immediately closes down and gets the foul.
Those are the types of ball, though. New York just looks a step behind in the press. They're almost being more reactive than proactive, which is a problem. You know, you want to be proactive in the press. You want to be making life difficult, not reacting to what your opponent's doing, and, you know, trying to set the tone of the game and how it's going to go, which they haven't been able to do so far here in the first half hour of this match. But still young in the match, and I think it's obviously Ibrahim Sagaya's barking instructions to his players around as Curtis Ofori looks like he's streaking.
Slip through for Adebayo Smith. Closed down by New Mexico, and the clearance there from Ryden.
It's a great little ball there in there for Adebayo Smith. Ofori was up in the attack as well. That's the type of runs that they need. They need to start pinning back this back line, not letting Bruce and Suggs get out in the attack, occupying space on the back line, which opens up so much room for Brett and Kiesewetter.
Cragwell, a little casual there, but he comes away with it. Bruce, though, presses back and wins it. Turn back over. Serwada bounces away from 2 tackles, and Michael Azira forces him back towards his own goal. As I said, Ibrahim Sakaya, one of the great players in Ugandan history, and now Azira and Serwada going to battle here in central midfield for not the biggest country in the world, doesn't have a ton of soccer exports, so shout out to any Ugandan fans who are out there watching.
There you go.
We appreciate that.
One thing I do know is whenever there is a Ugandan fan and they see Ibra, I mean, they are absolutely thrilled.
Kiesewetter now. He's already got an assist. In on goal, the shot, and he blasts it over with the right foot.
Kiesewetter trying to add a goal to the assist tally here tonight, and Dom does a good job of limiting to a shot there. He easily could have played the ball across to Nico Brett for a second goal there, but Dom makes himself big, makes Kiesewetter only have one decision there. See, good positioning from Ndam, makes this ball, as it would have been difficult to slide it across to Nico Brett, and fires it high and wide.
So Kiesewetter, an active first half here. He's had a couple breakaways, and the assist, as Mullings can't keep that one in play. Suggs throws it back. Yearwood closed down, keeps it. Portillo, who's been excellent in central midfield in possession so far in this game. Tete once again dribbles through the press. And the 0 will switch the side. Through ball for Suggs. And the offside flag goes up.
And New York's having a hard time dealing with the numbers that are being pushed forward from New Mexico. Just when they put a little bit more pressure on the interior, that Suggs and Bruce on the outside, it's, you know, you got to figure out which fire you were going to want to put out, but it's most important in this interior of the field, not giving Kiesewetter and Nico Brett these opportunities to get in behind, which they have given them early on in this half, and they've continued to have a couple here and there. But, and Dom, Cragwell, you got to be talking to the guys around you, making sure you're pulling either that's Mullings, Ofori, and if you need help, and, you know, Sirwada, the guys in front of you, Michael Knapp, everyone needs to do a little bit more to make it harder on New Mexico.
And we talked about it already. You feel the loss of Juan Castillo with the balls over the top. But Raffanello, one of the best pressing, attacking players on this team. He does the work to get back defensively. He also makes you think a little bit more about whether or not, if you're Suggs or Bruce, that you will push that much higher. As that's a bad turnover in midfield. Bruce now on the run. Early ball in for Kiesewetter, and it's just wide.
That's a really bad giveaway from Cragwell there. Just looks up and gives it right over to them. Kiesewetter, New York is very lucky to be up, or to be down only 1-0 here in the first half hour of this match. It could be easily 3 or 4 goals as Bruce puts it on a plate for Kiesewetter and just pulls it wide to the left as the New York Ibrahim Sagay is getting his subs up and ready. I can tell he's not too thrilled right now what's happening on the field.
So Derek Chan, the backup goalkeeper for this one. John Murphy on the bench after starting last week. Daniel DeLeon, who's gotten a ton of minutes at center back, on the bench. And Jonathan Felipe. The other 3 players are all academy players. Nate Worth, who was the second youngest USL Championship player in history when he played earlier this season. Bento Estrella, who was, I think, the second youngest MLS signing ever when he signed last year, has yet to appear in the USL Championship. And then for the first time ever, Davi Alessandre is on the bench for this game. Young academy center back, currently playing with the U17s, both national team and at the Red Bull level. Those are the options up in training in this one. We've mentioned for New Mexico a ton of attacking talent. Romario Williams, Amando Moreno, and Devin Sandoval on the bench. Harry Swartz, the right wing back. Sam Hamilton, the center midfielder. Options off the bench for this side. And Alexi Swahi. So a lot of experience on the bench for New Mexico if they choose to go to it at some point. There'll be a free kick coming. Endom and Cragwell up into the box. To be options, Adebayo Smith, Ryan, and Knapp alongside them. It'll be the Venezuelan Wiki Carmona to serve this one in. The referee allows play on. Carmona, looped in ball, knocked down at the top of the box. Mullings will keep it in the attacking third. They'll go back to Ofori. Ofori trying to put it back where it came from. One back by New Mexico. Hassan Endom shows off his feet.
Okay, Hassan.
Big man shows his skills. Now Adebayo Smith. And it feels at times so far in this game that Mexico's playing with an extra player. They've got an option always to double defend defensively, but then every time they win the ball back, it feels like they've got an open player in the attack.
That's it, and that's Seymour and Kiesewetter just constantly dropping into the midfield, and where I talked about New York needed to dominate in order to be successful in this match. It looks like they just have overloads on every single aspect of the field. On the back line, 5 players back. In the midfield, Seymour, Kiesewetter, Nico Brett dropping into the midfield. This is a very well-coached team, and they know exactly what they wanted to do in their game plan against New York, and it's worked extremely well in their early goings here. And for New York. I think they're going to be excited. Ibrahim Sagai is probably going to be excited to get in the locker room. One, probably let the players know. I think they need a little bit of a cold splash of water in the face to wake up and get into this match, but also maybe tinker with the tactics a little bit and try to give a little bit of a halt to New Mexico's success.
New Mexico looking for the opportunity to move up the Western Conference standings, currently 4th place behind Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Trying to open up the gap over Sacramento Republic even more, although Sacramento got a big win last night. Luther Archimede, former New York Red Bull 2 player, was one of the goals in that one. As you see Zach Prince there, he knows what's in front of them. The Colorado Springs Switchback are the team directly in front of them. They took a big loss to Phoenix Rising. I believe that broke a 7-game winless streak for Phoenix, as they're trying to rescue their playoff hopes late here in the season. That 4-0 win. Starting to shift things a bit in the Western Conference. San Diego Loyal, 3-2 win over Orange County SC as well last night. So San Diego moving into 2nd place in the Western Conference as everyone trails San Antonio. In the East, of course, the battle up top, Louisville City and Tampa Bay, as Pittsburgh tries to get into the conversation a little bit. New York Red Bulls, too, sitting on the bottom of the Eastern Conference, just behind Charleston and Loudoun. Tete now gotten looked at by the trainer and talking with his teammates about some adjustments. You played with the Tete, right?
Oh, yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yes, of course. Samuel Tete.
On loan from Red Bull
Salzburg.
Okay.
Yep. He is, I believe, playing in Turkey at the moment.
There you go.
Doing well for himself, but yeah, Samuel
An
Tete.
attacking player, not a defender. But,
Yeah.
you know. As long as I don't quiz you about Eddie Gavin, then we're good. That's
as long
right.
as I know what the
question
question is. Yeah, I got killed on Twitter for that one.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it was good. Pay attention, Connor.
We mentioned Amando Moreno on the bench, a ton of former New York Red Bull 2 players that have played with New Mexico United. A few of them are here. David Najem is here, won a championship with New York Red Bulls 2 before going out to New Mexico. Andrew Tenari spent 2 years with New Mexico United. As Knapp, when it's rolled over, we play on. And Adebayo Smith turns it over. And now Kiesewetter already out on the break the other way. One back by Castellano. And all the way back to Nico Politis. Brett pushing it along for Suggs, motoring up from the left wing back spot. And couldn't get a touch to it, but he did just enough. And now Ryan will win it coming back, and he'll draw the foul. The Red Bull homegrown player. Zach Ryan getting the start in this one. Stanford University, scored 18 goals in his Stanford career. Still looking to find his form professionally. Under that man, Ibrahim Sakaya. As you said, probably looking forward to halftime if he can get there. Only down 1-0. On the flip side, you think Zach Prince would love to steal another goal here while they have the momentum in this first half.
Absolutely. I don't think he'd want this half to end. I think they've had so many chances in this match and probably feel a little hard done not to have more than one at the moment. On the flip side, New York feeling thrilled to walk in the locker room 1-0 what could have been.
There's only been flashes, but this has been one of the best games we've seen Jesus Castellano play for New York Red Bulls too.
Absolutely. I mean, he played a great ball in for Jordan Adebayo Smith, bringing him in, and I think just getting him on the same page as everyone around him. He's so creative, as you can see, taking a knock there from Kiesewetter. But you could see, doing the work, getting back behind the ball, had a great break of transition moment as New Mexico is streaking there. And I think it's, just finding ways to unlock his creativity within this pressing system and, finding good spots for him to be successful. And I think he's got a great footballing mind and good soccer IQ. So I think it's, as you can see him, full head of steam here, trying to make something happen.
Out wide for Mullings. Mullings runs it down. Big cross to the far post. Tete heads it away.
But you know it's going to be a transitional period with a lot of players when they come into this system and, you know, not used to maybe a pressing, aggressive system. But I think he's, you know, done well so far here.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, here are live matches from USL, MLS, EPL, and more, all on Sirius XMFC channel 157. It'll be Carmona to take this corner kick. Curl to the near post. Adebayo Smith heads it on. Hit by Serwada, and it's just over the crossbar.
Oof, what an opportunity for Steven Serwada there. Caught it beautifully on his not first choice left foot there, and such a difficult shot. You know, a very high degree of difficulty taking that first time out of the air.
We're going to do some work at the half.
But a beautiful opportunity for New York, and what a moment that would have been. Totally against the run of play to get a goal.
It has cooled off about 10 degrees since right before kickoff here, which going in favor of both these teams maybe for performance as Ofori comes sliding through. What a tackle from the teenager.
That was a huge tackle from Curtis Ofori, and I think I could feel some frustration on the end of that one there with the way this match is going, but that's a massive, massive tackle from the young man there.
And that's where you look at Jerome Kiesewetter, came through Stuttgart's academy, so won a Bundesliga title, has played for the U.S. men's national team, full professional. Ofori is 16, and that's where you can see how excited people are about him, even though it's been a struggle at times out there on the field this year, as it has been for most of the team. As Portillo plays this one in. Headed up by Endom. The bite kick attempt was called off. Seymour knew it was going to get called off, so he was like, I'll go half for it, but I'm not going to do full.
I'll give the fans something to cheer about, but I'm not going to waste a good one on that one.
We could talk about, remember that time I almost did a bite kick?
You can imagine if they didn't blow the whistle there, what would have happened?
As we said, for Ofori, 28 minutes against Barcelona last night. Those are those little moments for young players. We talked a bit about New York Red Bulls too. Of course, the bulk of their team playing against Chelsea a few years back. That's what brought Tyler Adams into the first team, and many other players that had some big performances. Sean Davis as well. So you're hoping for Ofori and Serwada, Endom, that maybe that is sort of that recognition moment of what it takes to get to the highest level, but also how close they are.
No, those are the moments you'll remember the rest of your career as well, getting to play against Barcelona. I still remember getting to play my first year we played against Tottenham and going up against Gareth Bale. Mind you, I only had a couple minutes.
Brett in one-on-one against Cragwell. Bruce making the run. Bruce into the box, and he gets taken down from behind on the edge of the box. So it'll be a yellow card here for Curtis Ofori.
It's a big call there, and Bruce gets taken down by Ofori. Looks like he's going to pick up a yellow card there. Suggs arguing for a red card, it appears, but Ofori not happy.
So Austin Saini, our head official, gives out his second yellow card of the game. Both have been a little controversial in the eyes of New Mexico. As we wait to see the highlight here, as one question is it inside the box, and then is it a red card? It's definitely outside the box.
Definitely outside the box. I agree with the call. I think it's a yellow card. You can see Endom is coming at the end of the play. It's not a last man moment here as the feet get tangled up, and Endom is there, Cragwell's there. I think it's the right call. It's a foul. Yellow card there.
I think and on top of that, I don't know that Bruce is going to get the ball. It's
Agreed.
a long touch.
Agreed.
Cragwell's coming in, and Dom's getting it in. So I think Austin Saini handled it right, got it right. As tough as it is in real speed without the replays that we get to watch. All right, Suggs on the top of the box, Portillo and Brett. Big opportunity in the dying moments of this first half to double the lead for New Mexico United. Brett steps into it, blasts it, and Nico Politis with the save.
What a save by Nico Politis there. Nico Brett, you could see, wanted that shot from the get-go, adjusting the ball where he wanted and absolutely unloads a corker here. Look at that. Luckily for Nico Politis, it is right at him, but that had some venom behind that. Great save by the young goalkeeper.
And it comes through the wall as well. He sees it late, and he's still able to react and get enough of a hand on the powerful shot. The corner kick played in. Cragwell heads it away. Bruce now will play it back into the box, headed on, and it'll go wide from Ryden.
Fantastic ball from Bruce there into Ryden.
So as we approach first half stoppage time here, really good first half for New Mexico. If you're Zach Prince, sort of what's the message at halftime to your team?
I'm telling Suggs and Bruce, continue what you're doing. I think they've been really effective bombing forward at the right moments. Their timing's been fantastic, and I think it's comfortable. You know, very comfortable in what they're doing. Obviously, they got to continue to lock things down at the back because New York is capable of, you know, picking up a goal here, and which would ruin any momentum that you've built. But I think you know, you got to keep working, keep getting those overload moments in the midfield, and, you know, they found a way to beat whatever press that New York has given them so far here tonight.
Ofori, his battle against Bruce continues here. Bruce has gotten the upper hand in this first half from this right wing back spot. Be interesting to see how Zach Prince chooses to manage his roster. Remember, they fly home to New Mexico and face off against Sacramento Republic on Wednesday, and then they host Miami FC on Saturday. So a lot of minutes upcoming as this one's struck into the ground, and it'll roll out for a throw-in as we approach the minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. That's got to be in the back of Zach Prince's head, as well as some of the players on the bench for him. Not at full fitness yet, so he's got to try and manage them towards that as well, and Armando Moreno and Romario Williams. Bruce with the throw in. New York wins it back. Opportunity to break here. Azira closes it down. Carmona up to Ryan. Castellano, bright first half for him. Ball over the top for Mullings. And Suggs gets there first. And he puts it out for a corner kick.
Fantastic play there from Suggs, but a little bit of a disappointing transition moment for New York. I think if Carmona picks his head up, Jordan Adebayo-Smith is sprinting full steam ahead. If he just got to put it in a space behind the back line, and he's going to be one-on-one in with Tambakis.
And that'll be it for the half. Controversial end. Red Bulls 2 feel like they got fouled. New Mexico United feels like they got stolen an opportunity to break. And it's been hectic, but it's been fun. 1-0 lead for New Mexico United at half. Nico Brett, his 7th goal of the season. He has done it throughout his career against everyone in the USL Championship, but especially against New York Red Bulls too. And he does it for the first time ever for New Mexico United here at MSU Soccer Park. We'll be back in just a moment with a look around the league, a peek at the standings, and of course a look at first half highlights as we head towards the second half of USL Championship Soccer here on ESPN+.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
drama to every drive. The exhilarating Audi.
Red Bull Arena has been the fortress.
The atmosphere absolutely electric.
A superb finish. Oh my goodness, Christian Kasser saved Coronel. Oh, what a dynamite stop. All it takes is one chance for the Red Bulls. Bring the house down. Red Bull Arena's his home. Oh, what a finish.
Plenty of black and yellow in the crowd. New Mexico United making a rare trip to the East Coast and doing so with a couple locals on the roster as well. So it's a lot of excitement in this first half. And David Goss and Connor Lade with you. And coming into it, we focused on a couple of players, and Justin Portillo has been as advertised so far.
Justin Portillo has been absolutely fantastic. I think a big part of playing against a Red Bull system is having players who are confident on the ball and can dictate the play, and he's done absolutely that all night long. He, you can see 87% accuracy in the first half. Been fantastic on set pieces, but really anytime he's under pressure, calm on the ball, calm making decisions and breaking the press. So very impressed with him in the first half so far.
On the flip side, Adebayo Smith, not a ton of looks, but almost set this chance up for Zach Ryan.
Yeah, great little ball there to Zach Ryan, but a fantastic play by Ryden to break it up. And listen, he's been showing great movements in the first half, but they haven't looked his way. If I'm him, I'm getting in the locker room, telling guys around him, I'm making these runs. You got to find me if we want to have any sort of success in the second half.
So New York Red Bull Sioux hanging on, down 1-0. Let's sit down now with Michael Knapp, his second season with New York Red Bull Sioux. Michael talks a little bit with us about his approach on leadership, both on and off the pitch, in order to help younger players adjust to the style of the New York Red Bulls. That one's won back by Knapp. Clark now trying to start the attack. Hackshaw.
It feels great being one of the older players, especially knowing most of the guys that came in this year, so I know how to talk to them, and me knowing the press, what to do and what not to do. So it makes everyone's life easy. This being my second year, me knowing the press, I think I lead with my voice, and me being in the center of the press, it's easier to just talk to the guys, lead them in the middle, because I see everything. So it's easier for me to just talk to everyone and just everyone. Personally, I'm looking to be 100% healthy, just being in the game 100%. But as a team, I think we just want to win out.
Michael Knapp making history. He is the first player to have played at Montclair State University as a college soccer player and then played here for New York Red Bulls too on the same field. And as he talked about, at 22 years old, he's a veteran. He's a pure veteran for some of these teenagers, and he has a lot of responsibility off the field.
Absolutely, and that's a big part of being one of these older players at 22 years old. When you're trying to worry about yourself, but you're also managing 15, 16, 17-year-old players and trying to guide them through what it takes to play at this level. And I think it couldn't be more of a better person than him, especially the way he plays the game. Super aggressive. He's always tough in the tackle. Obviously, 22 appearances, 1,300 minutes, played in 2021 for New York Red Bull 2. He's been there, he's done it, and it can be a great voice for these young players.
Former academy player as well, so he knows this system top to bottom. He is going to help try and turn this scoreline around. We'll take a look around the league and at first half highlights coming up in just a moment here on ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish. The teenager in front of his academy teammates. Nice little aerial shot here at MSU Soccer Park as the subs are out warming up. We take a look at the standings. Louisville City and Tampa still battling at the top. Tampa, a big win over Indy 11 over the course of this weekend. Birmingham Legion as well, a big win on the road as Pittsburgh tries to challenge at the top of the East. Well, that is a look at our standings here as we take a look at the scoreboard around the league. This the final game of the weekend. You see there Tampa with that 3-1 win. Pittsburgh getting a huge win over FC Tulsa, and Sacramento Republic FC, a 4-2 win over the Charleston Battery, but only the second biggest win of the week. Wednesday night against Sporting Kansas City, Sacramento became the second lower division team in 14 years to make it to a U.S. Open Cup final, and this is one of the great penalty kicks in North American soccer history.
I mean, Malik Foster, absolutely dripping with confidence there. Not to mention, you did the Pineda. You did the backflip after, and then Danny Vitiello with the biggest save, arguably in club history there, but an absolutely beautifully taken penalty to send them to the Open Cup final. What a moment for Sacramento FC, and I mean, I could watch this PK all day.
And then the PK, and as you said, the backflip, the finger guns, the knee slide. He literally did every celebration afterwards, and it was worth it. Of course, Danny Vitiello, a lot of success on this field for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, a Massapequa, Long Island native. So congrats to Sacramento Republic, and they have a couple USL Championship games to manage as they head towards September 7th. They will go down to Exploria Stadium to face off against Orlando City SC. Here, the match stats: 65% possession for New Mexico United, 8 shots, 3 of them on goal, which actually probably less than what they would have expected the way that first half played out.
Absolutely, and New York really having nothing going forward in that first half, but New Mexico, I've been thoroughly impressed with the way they started this match. I think they, again, probably a little disappointed to go in the locker room, only 1-0, but a big opportunity in the second half for both teams to really make their stamp on this match.
So only 1-0 lead for New Mexico with all that possession, 65% in the first half. Can they stretch it? The New York Red Bulls 2 claw their way back into this one. We will have all your second half action coming up in just a few moments here from MSU Soccer Park.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
Drama to every drive. The exhilarating Audi SUV family.
Red Bull Arena has been the fortress.
The atmosphere absolutely electric.
A superb finish. Oh my goodness. Christian Cáceres saved for it out. Oh, what a dynamite stop. All it takes is one chance for the Red Bulls. Bring the house down. Red Bull Arena's his home. Oh, what a finish.
sunsetting on the weekend of USL Championship action, but still 45 more minutes to go here. David Goss and Connor Lade with you on ESPN+. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and it was an electric start for New Mexico United.
Yeah, Kissavetter just absolutely making mincemeat of the New York Red Bull 2 defense in the early goings here as he plays a beautiful ball across to Nico Brett, who has one of the easier goals he'll have in his career, and nothing changed. Kissavetter again on the end, trying to get on the end of things. Suggs just puts it over the top, little short bounce. Unfortunate there. Nico Politis thrilled to see that one go over the bar, but Portillo again, just New York looked lackadaisical in this match. Too much space behind, not getting enough pressure on the ball, and giving up opportunities like this to New Mexico.
Nico Brett here trying to make it 2 for him and 2 for his team. And Giannis Nikopolidis with the save from that close free kick. It was the controversial call. New Mexico wanted the penalty kick, wanted the red card. It didn't come. Here is the upcoming schedule for New York Red Bulls too. It doesn't get easier. Memphis 901, who sat in first in the Eastern Conference for most of the season so far. Their next matchup here at home midweek, coming up next week. And then Atlanta United 2, a Friday night game here for this New York Red Bulls 2 side. On the flip side, we talked about it for New Mexico. They go home. They play midweek against Sacramento Republic and then against Miami FC. So getting ready to kick off here for the second half. New York Red Bulls 2 against New Mexico United. New York Red Bulls 2 in their black kits and white shorts, going right to left on your screens. New Mexico United in their all yellow kits. One substitution at half for New York Red Bulls 2. Daniel DeLeon as well as John Murphy both coming in for New York Red Bulls 2. DeLeon in place of Cragwell at center back, and Murphy coming on at in central midfield. It looks like in place of Wiki Carmona. Mexico United will knock it around here. No changes for New Mexico United. And why would you after the half they had for Zach Prince's side?
Yeah, he's looking for a carbon copy. Maybe just add a couple more goals and he'll be a happy man at the end of this one.
Yearwood up the line, intercepted by Castellano. And we saw in that first half, I think we talked about it with Castellano, him and Wiki Carmona swapped, and we've never seen him get this many touches. He's never been this involved, and he looks very comfortable in that deeper role.
Absolutely. I mean, you need someone to dictate the play from there and, you know, get on that ball, be confident, make passes forward, which he's very good at. You know, that's sometimes you play a little bit too, you know, side on, you know, playing the passes backwards, which I can tell you for a fact the coaches hate in this organization. They want their players playing forward, being aggressive with that first ball. And, yeah, Castellano, I think it could be a good spot for him here. Obviously get 1 more touches on the ball, but 2, even some of these deeper lying runs that he can do, you know, open things up for Jordan Adebayo-Smith. Steven Serwada in front of him, let him play in a more advanced role, show some of his creativity, and obviously he gets an opportunity to put one on net. You know, he can pack a punch behind the shot as well.
All over the top. Ryan's able to keep it in play. Adebayo-Smith turning, gets the cross away, and it goes all the way through the box. And it was over the end line, and it will be a goal kick.
Great little piece of play there from Zach Ryan. He does so well when he gets on the ball. He's so creative, strong, keeps that ball between him and the defender. So you can big turnover here for New York. Unfortunately, gets by Adebayo Smith. Ball played in. If he gets a touch on that, he might be looking at a good chance on goal.
Sirwada with the foul against Michael Azira. Two Ugandans in central midfield battling it out, and Portillo didn't let that one stop before he restarted play. So now Tete will restart things for New Mexico. De Leon now gets his first touch off the bench. Daniel De Leon, a Minnesota native. Spent time down in Costa Rica professionally rather than going to college. Now getting a chance in his first year with New York Red Bulls too. Sirwada goes down in a heap after that tackle. New York Red Bulls 2 play on. Ryan over the top for the run of Mullings. And Mullings keeps it in play, and Tambakis takes it over.
Something that Ibrahim Sagai, I'm sure, would love to see a little bit more of the second half is Avante Mullings getting into that final third. He's really been, you know, their biggest provider in the final third in terms of assists and, you know, the type of runs that he makes. Obviously, he wants to solidify things at the back as Steven Sirwada is going to get a bit of attention after that tackle, but you want to see Avante Mullings, Curtis Ofori. They started to develop, you know, really good timed runs going forward, especially Curtis Ofori, you know, really adding that aspect of his game, but we haven't necessarily seen a ton of that on display here tonight.
So Sirwada being looked at. There's a 50-50 challenge, that one possession back for New York. Right there at the start of that play, he stayed down. Not a ton of options for New York Red Bulls too, as they just made those two subs. It obviously doesn't count as a moment at halftime, but 3 academy players on the bench in this one. So Jonathan Felipe and Derek Chan, the backup goalkeeper, are the only 2 senior professional players on the roster here that could be available. Sirwada now walking off, as it'll be a deep throw in for New Mexico when we do restart play. Daniel Bruce restarting it. Murphy now sweeps that ball up the field. He got a chance to play against his brother last week at Monterey Bay. Not as long maybe as they both expected, as his brother picked up a red card early on in that game. What a cool experience for the Murphy family. Well entrenched in the soccer community here in the tri-state area. As Brett now is on the ball, clips it into the box, headed away by De Leon, and Ofori with the clearance.
Good opportunity there. Nico Brett getting that ball as Nico Politis is trying to get on the end of it and just floats a beautiful, tasty little ball, but no one's on the end of it.
Bruce now with the cross. Flicked on by Knapp. And now out into the feet of Ryan. Early ball for Sirwada. Sirwada by Tambakis, and his shot goes wide.
What a moment for Steven Sirwada, just painfully, agonizingly goes wide, but a fantastic run as he looks to shake off any sort of injury from that tackle early on. Just can't hook this ball around and put it in the back of the net, but a fantastic run from Sirwada nonetheless.
Sirwada up off that injury, feeling better. That would have been his first goal in the United States, as he is midway through his second year here with New York Red Bulls 2. But it was not to be. The biggest chance of the game there for the home side, and the crowd was on their feet. They felt like there was an equalizer coming. Tambakis came out on that one, and that is the scariest moment for a goalkeeper when someone passes them in the open field. That one flicked out by Ryden. Red Bulls too. Little bolt of energy with the substitutes here at halftime. Serwada again. Castellano. Now Murphy back to Endom. Back into the feet of Murphy. Up in the channel to Adebayo Smith. Adebayo Smith into the box, and his shot is deflected, and it'll go out for a corner kick.
That's a huge play by Portillo, who ends up deflecting that shot wide, but Adebayo Smith gets a little bit fortunate here. Ball deflects off Tete, and he just goes in on goal, and Portillo just absolutely massive, massive tackle.
Murphy serves it in, and it was flicked on by Seymour. So go out for another corner kick. A dangerous moment there.
You can see New York starting to gain a little bit of confidence, trying to gain some of that momentum in this match. And sure, New Mexico, this is where you're wishing you had a couple more goals in that first half when you had such the momentum swing. Would have loved to have been the fly on the wall in that conversation in the locker room from Ibrahim Sagaya, though.
Murphy, another floated ball. Headed back by DeLeon and cleared by Seymour. Mullings floats it back in. DeLeon chasing it down. DeLeon saves it. He crosses. And a monster header there from Ryden. Serwada now dribbling into the box. Gets by two and shoots and scores! On a night filled with Ugandan legends, the young one, Steven Serwada, with his first goal in USL Championship play, and he ties it up.
Steven Serwada, remember the name. What a goal from the young man. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to continue in this match, but look what he came up with. 1, 2, 3, 4 scissors, a couple lucky deflections, and then makes no mistake as he buries it under the legs of Tambakis. And look what this goal means to him. Look what it means to all of his teammates. I think they'd all be the first ones to tell you it was a brutal first half for New York Red Bull 2, but they came out in second half here, and they look ready to go. 1-1, game on.
And Serwada, 2 minutes ago, rounds the keeper, doesn't put it on frame, and then, as you said it, no hesitation in that shot. He knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Absolutely, and obviously makes his own luck, getting a couple deflections there to put him through, but he'll always remember that first one.
What a reaction for New York Red Bulls, too. He was down with an injury. They pulled him off to the side. I think I saw a water bottle that said Mike's special stuff that he took a sip of because he got a little water, came back, and now has had 2 shots and a goal.
Well, I guess the secret's out. I don't know what Ibrahim, I don't know what he's got down on the sideline for him, but.
And Serwada, we were worried about him being forced to sub out, and instead he has taken control of this game. He gets another touch there. Ryden all the way back to Tambakis. Clearance up the line, and it looks like New Mexico's ready to bring on their first substitute to try and gain the momentum back as Suggs is challenging here. Mullings wins it in front of him, and now Endon with the clearance up to Knapp. And it's knocked away, and a foul will go against Knapp, and it looks like it'll be Harry Swartz to come on. Be interesting to see if that's a sub for Daniel Bruce, who was phenomenal in the first half. And what it will be for Suggs instead on the left side. Let's see if that's like for like here for Harry Swartz. Very familiar with New York Red Bulls too, after starting his career with Hartford Athletic here in the Northeast for the Needham, Massachusetts native. 20 times for Hartford in 2 years. Portillo floats it out for Bruce. Bruce goes all the way back to Portillo. Now Seymour in a pocket of space. Up for Kiesewetter. Endom with the tackle. And it goes off Kiesewetter and out for a goal kick. Look at the reaction there from DeLeon and Murphy, who themselves have brought energy in this half. It just feels like a more connected team right now.
Absolutely. Whatever they got done in the locker room, obviously the subs bringing new energy to this match, but Endom, that was a fantastic play. Seymour looked sure to put that on net, but just did enough to deflect, his total concentration from getting that on net and using the big body to prove an obstacle, trying to alter that shot. But whatever they got going on right now, they got to bottle it, because this is going to be a very interesting rest of this match.
Flicked on by Murphy. Yearwood gets to it first. Swartz with the slip. Well, we talked about the fixture congestion for Mexico United. You'd think the substitute trying to get fresh legs on, but also Suggs 31 trying to get him off the field as Serwada is hacked down there by Yearwood, and a yellow card coming out. So Austin Yearwood, the first to pick up a yellow card for New Mexico United here. Serwada back up off the turf, the goal scorer. Free kick opportunity coming now for New York Red Bulls too. Endom and DeLeon have come forward. All 11 players are in the box right now defensively for New Mexico United. They understand the momentum in the moment here. They were able to hang on at Detroit last game when the game was going against them for large stretches and tied it 2-2 in stoppage time. Currently tied 1-1. Trying to keep things level as they find their feet. It'll be John Murphy off the bench here at halftime to take it once again. DeLeon's being spoken to right now. Our head official, Austin Ciani. So Murphy, he floats it in, headed on, and it was all yellow jerseys there to receive it on that far post.
Yeah, something, not getting a ton of numbers in the box, especially moments like that with, this is a big opportunity for a momentum swing in this match. New York has been fantastic the past couple of minutes. Just you want to get a lot of bodies in that box and around the net. Try to steal another one here, because you could turn the game on its head.
So knocked around. And that will be a goal kick here for New Mexico United. Dominant first half for New Mexico. 65% possession. But they are hanging on right now to try and keep things at 1-1 early in this second half, as Ryan's cross will go over the head of everyone and out.
Yeah, another good opportunity, and that's what you want to see. Michael Knapp turning that ball over.
And you can see Zach Prince there talking to Sam Hamilton, giving him the schedule. He'll put him on in a couple minutes. Sam Hamilton, a composed central midfielder that could maybe settle things down here a little bit for New Mexico United, as they will forego trying to play out of the back and go long to try and relieve some pressure. Knapp wins the header. Serwada challenging Portillo. And we play on here as Ryan is put through. Ryan with the early shot and the save by Tambakis.
Good opportunity there from Zach Ryan. Clever ball to put him through. Believe it was from Murphy. Zach Ryan pulling that on the left foot. It was going to take a lot there to beat Tambakis, but aggressive nonetheless. You can see New York just has a different feel about them right now. They're really found their way into this match, and they're riding this wave of momentum right now.
And I'm drawing the foul there. New York looking to replay quickly, but now they'll have to take a little bit of time, and the substitutes are up, and it's going to be a line change coming here for this New Mexico side. It looks like at least 3 players are going to come on. Alex Suhi getting ready, as is Sam Hamilton. So New Mexico United facing off against New York Red Bulls 2 for the first time in these clubs' history. And who better to join us and talk about it a little bit than someone who has played for both these teams. Heavy connections between these two sides. Amando Moreno on the bench for this one. Troy Lassane, as we have said, the original head coach and now an assistant with New York Red Bulls. But David Najem won a championship with New York Red Bulls too and played for New Mexico United in the booth with us. What's up, David?
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me. It's so great to see your faces in person. I watch these games all the time, especially when my brother was playing. So it's awesome to be here with you guys.
Adam, a 25-day contract earlier in the season. Do you want to get back out there too?
Oh, man. This is bringing up all the feelings, all the emotions again. You know, seeing the banner as well. It's pretty cool.
We take you out there in a second, man. I mean, probably one of my favorite guys I ever played with, I mean, in my time. And not just because you're sitting here, honestly. One of the most genuinely nice human beings that I've ever played, but also quite the footballer. I mean, what's it like seeing, obviously coming back, you mentioned the banner, huge part of the 2016 USL Cup champion New York Red Bull 2, but what's it like seeing these two clubs go at it? I know you said you saw the games earlier in the year, but you say it's bringing up the feelings. What kind of feelings are those?
Yeah, this is amazing. I feel like my worlds are colliding a little bit, you know, seeing some familiar faces, the coaches on both sides, you know, some of the players on both sides. I feel like I've had a couple long conversations in the stands, but it's so great to see everyone here out supporting. So I'm happy to have been able to make this game.
You came out of Colombia, and then you made your pro debut here in North America with New York Red Bulls 2, and as we said, played on that championship team, and then helped open this building in 2017. What do you sort of remember about your New York Red Bulls 2 days and what it was like for your career?
I mean, what an experience. I mean, Connor was there, you know, the whole way also. So, I mean, we just had a great core group of guys, and, you know, we were playing our style of football, and it's nice to see that the style is still implemented today. You know, a lot of the coaches and players went on to have great careers. Some are still here, some elsewhere, but amazing to see, you know, this alumni network almost just all over, and you see some familiar faces like Amando at New Mexico now, and, you know, coming home and seeing all these guys is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. And obviously we see like Conrad here today. I mean, it's a who's who of
there's
New
a
York
lot
Red
of
Bull 2
connections.
history. But I don't know. I must have missed the alumni memo that everyone was coming out today, or else we would have had everyone in the booth. But, I mean, tell us a little bit, what are you up to now?
Yeah, so similar to last year, you know, I went back with the national team, Afghan national team, and we were out in Vietnam for a couple of weeks, and we had our camp there, and we were in Asian Cup qualifiers. We played out in India the 3 matches. Unfortunately, we didn't qualify, but what an amazing experience. It was our first time playing in Vietnam and India, so it was really cool to do that. It was a chunk of time to be away from any team, so it was difficult to get into the USL, but you know, something I will never regret, because it's just such a cool experience, you know, playing in that country, you know, with representing the national team and being, you know, competing for Asian Cup qualifiers, potentially playing on the big stage, you know. So it was amazing, you know, something I'll remember for the rest of my life for sure.
Tell us a little bit about what New Mexico United is like. You were there early on, and it's a unique club. It's different than New York Red Bulls 2 for sure. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a part of that club.
Fantastic club. I mean, I wasn't there for the inaugural season, but I mean, from day one, they were doing things properly. Great people from top to bottom. You know, Troy was there, brought me over. Big shout out to Pete also. He's here, but you see the fan base. You know, they run it properly. They take care of their guys, and it's just a project that continues to grow, and you know, they're representing the USL very well. Attendance and support just nonstop all over the country. So it was very cool to be able to play there in 2020 and again in 2021 when I came back from national team duty. But fantastic, you know, nothing but good things to say.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list. I got to get out there for a game. It's definitely one of the places that, you know, within the USL landscape that I want to check off that list. And
Not an easy place to play. Hot altitude, right?
Altitude and stuff. It takes a couple weeks to get used to it, but you know, had my fair share of trouble traveling back and forth there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
I will say this: one of the coolest moments in MSU Soccer Park history was when your brother came with Bethlehem, and I think your dad showed up with 500 or 600 people and was mayor of the whole thing. And it was one of the coolest moments, but it is what we love, you know, the New Jersey, New York soccer community, and it was really fun, and it was really great to see Adam on the field here this year as well. And it's cool how connected your family is to this club.
Absolutely. I mean, the soccer community is super small to begin with, but you know, when you have the both of us playing, and you know, we've met so many players and teammates and coaches along the way that we've kind of like interconnected our own networks a little bit. Right. So it's been cool to see, and you know, we've had some great support along the way. So super thankful for that.
So last question for you, and then we'll let you go. Who are you rooting for?
Oh, put him on the spot.
I'm wearing green, completely neutral today.
Not even the color palette of either club.
Nothing. I didn't celebrate either of the goals. Just here for some good footy is all.
Ryan pushing in his cross, and it's cleared away. Well, David Najem, a member of the 2016 champions, a member of New Mexico United, so you keep us neutral here. Absolutely. And we appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Thank you guys for having me. It's so great to see you guys in person. All the best. See you guys.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right, David Najem. We, of course, called his brother's name quite a lot this year. He's played on a 25-day contract, made a huge difference for New York Red Bulls, too, when he was here. And David, of course, did it in his time as well. Started in that USL Championship game. And as he said, these are two clubs that are different, doing things different ways. And for him, I think, exciting to hear the style of play talk for Red Bulls, too. And then, of course, the energy and the atmosphere that the club, New Mexico United, has built. And it's been an electric game since David joined us. He brought the energy, controversial yellow card to Avante Mullings, a couple substitutes as well, the full line change. To update you, Sam Hamilton, Alex Suhi, and Romario Williams all coming on. Austin Yearwood coming off, Jerome Kiesewetter, and Michael Azira, the three that came out for this New Mexico United side.
Yeah, what a fantastic human being. Now, I mean, absolute proper footballer for sure. I knew David since the academy days coming up, and you know, one of those players that's super easy to root for. The way he approaches the game. Obviously, comes from a fantastic family, but wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors and where he's going to end up. But obviously, he, you know, a fantastic guy, and thank him for coming up in the booth, sharing some of that wisdom. He definitely has some Red Bull gear on underneath that green shirt, though. I know that for sure.
Don't miss a minute of the action out here at MSU Soccer Park this year in 2022. Your club's on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, home to USL, MLS, La Liga, Bundesliga, UFC, and so much more. As Bruce's pass knocked away. Now up in the air, Romario Williams challenges, Murphy wins it, and Serwada is off and running. He's got the through ball for Ryan. It pulls Ryan a little wide. Zach Ryan into the box. Ryan's shot is blocked. And Ryan, that's not the first time we've seen him find an opening, pulling off the shoulder as Murphy into the feet of Knapp. Now Mullings. Mullings gets to the end line. His cross, and it's just too long on the far post.
What a sequence of events there for New York. Steven Serwada playing a fantastic ball through to Zach Ryan. Zach Ryan, he looks eager to get on this score sheet here tonight. But what a fantastic play there from Avante Mullings. You can see when he gets a little inch of space, he's going to touch it by, just can't find Zach Ryan. A little too firm coming across there, and he can't get on the end of it.
And Alexis Suhi, I think coming off the bench, maybe wasn't ready for that pace there, 1v1 from Mullings. But as he said, David Najem, Columbia University grad, USL champion, and as he talked about, his parents from Afghanistan, him and his brother were born here. They've now both represented the national team over the last 5 or 6 years, which has been one of the coolest stories in soccer. And it's one of the special parts about the U.S. soccer scene is in supporting the sport here. You supported, you know, Amando Moreno, we talked about, now playing for the El Salvador national team. Steven Serwada playing for Uganda. So it's really cool to see players go back to the countries of their heritage or of their birth and help support the game there as Knapp comes in with a crunching tackle. Brett now sprays it wide. Swartz picks it up, 1v1. His cross in, Romario Williams, and he puts it into the hands of Nikopolidis.
What a play there. Swartz delivering a beautiful ball. It took Romario Williams a little bit behind. I think he jumped a little early there. Ball played a little behind him. Can't quite get the full force on it as it goes to Nikopolidis there. But New Mexico, they're telling everyone right there, we're not out of this match right here. New York has gained a lot of confidence. Starting about the 55th minute or so, really got into this match. But New Mexico, you know, they're so dangerous in that you give them those looks, they'll get ahead in this match.
And we talked the whole first half about the depth of this New Mexico team, and there you see it. Romario Williams coming off the bench, Sam Hamilton right now coming in central midfield, and Swartz, the substitute at left wing back, was the one who set that up.
David, get ready for an ovation here as we get a little bit more controversy here. I think asking for the card on Endam.
So Hassan Endam is already sitting on a yellow card. So a second yellow here means a red card for Hassan Endam. And New York Red Bulls 2 will now have to play down a man for the rest of this game. And it's going to be a long walk for the Cameroonian Hassan Endam, just his second appearance of the year with New York Red Bulls 2 after signing just a few weeks ago. And for Endam, it's an awkward moment. He basically tries to screen Romario Williams from being able to make the run off the ball. I think a pretty straightforward call for the referee, and this was what you were talking about as the crowd. Many of them are here to see this man make his 2022 USL Championship debut. Perth Amboy, New Jersey native Armando Moreno, former homegrown signing. He joined the New York Red Bulls Academy in 2009. Signed a pro deal, made his debut in 2013. Spent 2018 with New York Red Bulls 2, and after an ACL injury in October of 2021, Armando Moreno is back on the field for New Mexico United.
Love to see it. Armando Moreno, congratulations. I know the type of work that goes into coming back from an injury like that, and he's got to be feeling all of the emotions right now.
Portillo drills it to the far post. Hamilton putting the second ball back in, and the offside flag goes up. Now, it was a substitute in the end for Rashid Tete. And I wonder if the red card shifted that, because they're now taking out a center back and bringing on a forward. And for New Mexico United, they've got to be thinking 3 points now.
Absolutely. It will be interesting to see how they tinker with the back line as well, if they're going to push. Obviously, not that Bruce has been playing that defensive here tonight. He's been more so a winger, but they're going after it. 3 points. You got to think that they're going to throw everything at it right now. Obviously, Armando Moreno in there, get some of those creative juices flowing. Obviously, he's going to get his legs under him his first time playing since the ACL surgery, but they're throwing everything forward to this match. 3 points or bust.
So it looks like Moreno will play as the 10, and it looks like Seymour is the one to slide back to right center back here. Hamilton and Portillo will remain in central midfield. Armando Moreno, 5 goals last year until the ACL injury, 11 goals overall in his New Mexico career. Spent 2019 with the Chicago Fire. In 2018, as I said, 9 goals, 3 assists with New York Red Bulls 2. He was a menace that season, coming off the left wing on a team with Tom Barlow and Brian White at the center forward position, Matthias Jorgensen as well. It was a really clean fit for Armando Moreno here with New York Red Bulls 2 after his time in Mexico. Swartz now. He gets it into the feet of Moreno. Knapp closes him down. Moreno now. He can't find a teammate, and he'll win it back for his side. Williams, he was trying to push it wide for Bruce. The back heel from Serwada. And now New York Red Bulls 2 building through midfield. Early ball for Adebayo Smith. And Tambakis able to close it down.
The energy in this match is incredible. What a difference from the first half when it was all New Mexico. Even playing with a man down right now, New York looks like they want 3 points as well. So buckle up. It's going to be an interesting last couple minutes.
That is one of the things you know about New York Red Bulls, too. Down a man doesn't matter. They're not going to sit back and try and hold for the point. They're going to push for 3.
Absolutely, and you can see that already. Steven Serwata, they all look up for it. I think it's also, you know, you as much as you are confident and you're throwing everything forward as well, you got to realize this is a result at home, you know, and against a very, very good New Mexico team, and you got to first and foremost lock things down at the back.
So it looks like New York Red Bulls, too, are preparing 2 substitutes of their own as Bruce dribbles across the field. Can't find a teammate, though. An opportunity here for Adebayo Smith to run. So it looks like Jonathan Felipe will come on, and potentially David Alexandre will join him. Suhi heads that one back in. And Knapp doing a little bit of everything here in this second half. He's been making tackles along the back line and stepping forward into the attack.
See a big opportunity here developing as Bruce gets the ball wide. A lot of numbers going forward for New Mexico.
Armando Moreno on the ball. And the foul off the ball on Bruce. So it'll just be Felipe as a substitute here. It's an interesting one, though. It'll be for Avante Mullings, you assume. It has something to do with the fact that he played 45 minutes against Barcelona last night at Red Bull Arena, but a really good stretch for Mullings going forward here today. There was a lot of defensive work he had to do in the first half and was a bit exposed, but overall, we continue to see his development as a fullback.
Yeah, we've seen so many bright moments from him in this 2022 season. You know, first half probably one that you go back to the drawing board a little bit, learn a lot about, but second half he came out super aggressive moving forward, which you've seen him doing all year, and obviously some heavy legs after, I mean, not only the physical aspect of playing against a team like Barcelona where you do more running than you'd want when they keep the ball the way they do, but also the emotional side of things, the mental aspect of playing a team like that. You are drained after a match like that, so credit to him getting a solid 80 minutes here tonight.
It was a special night last night here in New Jersey. Thierry Henry with the 50-50 jersey, like a mom.
There you go.
He was like there to see their probably Adam and David's parents wore the split Bethlehem Red Bull 2 jerseys when they played. That's how Henry went about it yesterday, of course. Supporter Shield winner. I think he won trophies with Barcelona. I'm not really sure. That's not really my,
probably.
Yeah, that's not really my space.
I think they did the sextuple when he was there, I'm pretty sure.
They
so
literally
that
won
was,
everything you could play in.
Literally, they got bored and just, screw it, we'll win everything.
Started playing in the Belgian league on weekdays. So a big moment for Mullings and a good game for him. Looks like Felipe will be that like-for-like change at right back. And Knapp now playing center back as this one's driven in. And Romario Williams is called offside in the end. And he did not get a touch to it.
Offside or not, what a fantastic teasing ball in there from Bruce, who's been fantastic. Probably one of my best players in the match so far here tonight. But played a beautifully stricken ball in and right in front of Romario Williams, who unfortunately wouldn't have counted if it was onside. But look at this ball in there. Driven, give no chance to the defenders, and Romario Williams just can't deflect it on net.
And he did get a touch to it, so my mistake, but obviously not the touch he would have wanted. So Michael Knapp and Daniel De Leon right now, the 2 center backs. Neither of them started this game at center back. Chris Cragwell taken off at halftime after struggling, and then, of course, the red card to Endom. So already a bit of a makeshift defense. Jonathan Felipe, normally we've seen him play as a forward. We've seen him play as a winger and an attacker. He's playing at right back. And then you've got a teenager in Curtis Ofori at left back. So a bit of an exposed back line here, down a man, but New York Red Bulls too.
It's a growing moment
Yeah.
for each and every one of them out there. And you can see De Leon going up to Felipe and making sure that he's accustomed to what he's looking for from him at that right back spot.
But I think we can both say we saw Cragwell pick up an early red card against Loudoun United in the 3rd game of the season here. And New York Red Bulls 2 didn't ever push in that game. They sat in completely. This has already looked different over the last 10 minutes.
100%. Especially, I mean, I think probably the stage of the match that it was in and what that looked like earlier in the second half, that you just have to go for it. You've done so much to get yourself back in this match, one, but two, build such momentum. And
Castellano skating by defenders, and once again, it is Kalen Ryden to step in. Ryden has been a brick wall in this game. Moreno trying to get on the end of this, and the offside flag finally went up.
But I think the biggest part of it is where they're at in their season right now. It's all or nothing right now. They, maybe earlier in the year, you're still playing, primarily for results. Right now, this is pride time, and you got to show what you're about out here. You're not only playing for what's going on this year. You're playing for your future in this organization, and so there's no other chance but to go for it right now, and you can see exactly that.
Ryan drops it back for Felipe. Felipe now into the feet of Serwada, and the return pass doesn't find Felipe. That'll be interesting. New Mexico sort of went away from their build-out as they were struggling, but now up a man. They look to play out of the back again, and it's another turnover. Felipe, and he cannot keep it in play.
I think they need to get 43 back on the ball a little bit more, start playing through him and Portillo. And
as you say that, Portillo turns it over.
Get the curse of the announcer there.
Serwada for Adebayo Smith, and his cross can't find a teammate.
That's a good look there. Zach Ryan scratching his head a little bit. I think he wished he would have made a little bit of a run there. They were on two different pages, but this has been exciting. Can't argue that.
Better from Portillo that time, the ball over the top, and he was the antidote in the first half to New York's pressure. As you said, turnover from Hamilton. He immediately closes down. Nico Politis, mishit there, and Ofori can't keep it in play. All 5 substitutes used for New Mexico United in this one. There's still the ability to make 2 more changes for New York Red Bulls too if they'd like to. They do still have a window to do it. Anyone they'd bring in would be an academy player on a non-professional contract, which has worked for New York Red Bulls too in the past, as this one comes across to Swartz, and his left-footed shot just fizzing past that post.
Nice little combination there from New Mexico, who I think can tell you they'll be very disappointed walking away from this match without 3 points.
Fans of New York Red Bulls 2 return home Wednesday, August 3rd to take on Memphis 901 FC at 7 p.m. For tickets or information, visit NewYorkRedBulls.com/2. As we said, a big game. Memphis currently in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference, spent most of the year on the top of the East. This New York Red Bulls 2 team, they got a win in their last home game. Right now, looking at a potential tie against one of the top teams in the Western Conference in New Mexico United. I think they've seen the response under Ibrahim Sakaya for a team sitting in last place in the Eastern Conference. Seymour drives that one long. Swartz heads it in. Knapp knocking it back. Adebayo Smith comes all the way back to defend. Ryan now battling, a good touch from him. Ryden chasing. He lays it off for Murphy, and Seymour steps forward to win it back. And Castellano once again. The back heel from Murphy not strong enough. And now Bruce going forward. Bruce lays it off for Williams. Romario Williams in his debut for his Jamaican teammate Brett. Nico Politis with the touch. Williams with the shot. Swartz now on the ball. Back to Moreno. Out for Brett. And tackled away by De Leon.
This is wild right now. End-to-end action coming off the back heel from Murphy that could have sprung Ofori New Mexico goes right back down the field and just an absolute barrage of chances, but cannot get anything concrete on net. Nico Politis with a massive save on Brett, who if he gets by him, surely it's going to be a goal there.
An absurd sequence there as the ball just kept moving in the box. Nico Politis was out of his goal and no one was able to get a clean shot away. And now it'll be a free kick here for New Mexico. They go quickly. Hamilton out wide for Seymour. Floated to the far post. Nico Politis takes it off the head of Williams.
What an acrobatic effort there from Nico Politis.
Mario Williams, 2 goals against Red Bulls too in his career. Both of them for Charleston, playing with his now head coach, Zach Prince. Signed on July 14th, making his debut here. The big Jamaican center forward. He's got 2 goals and 13 caps for the Reggae Boys. Ryden has been phenomenal in this game every time. It looks like New York Red Bulls 2 are going to break through. Swartz now beats Felipe. Big switch from him. Seymour charging forward from the right center back spot now. Into the feet of Hamilton. Back to Seymour. Floated ball to the far post. Felipe heads it away. Portillo to Moreno. And Adebayo Smith will clear it up the field. And New York will reset their line. Clip ball over the top from Ryden. Moreno's onside. Armando Moreno beats the first defender. And Knapp with the clearance. Two former Academy players going at it.
Things you love to see there. And Armando Moreno with a fantastically timed run there to beat the back line. Asking more of his attackers to get at that near post, but a big opportunity here for Portillo to whip in a dangerous ball.
Ball floated in, headed down, and the goal! Will Seymour. The header on the far post, and the breakthrough in stoppage time for New Mexico United.
Absolute dagger from Seymour there, as New York Red Bull 2 fans are heartbroken here at MSU Soccer Park. But that man right there whipped in a beautiful ball. And Seymour, just unmarked, looked like Adebayo Smith. Just lost concentration for a minute there, giving him a little room. And Seymour did the rest. Huge, huge goal for New Mexico as they look to go 7-2-3 on the road.
And in his 6th year of USL Championship soccer, that's the first career goal for Will Seymour. Born in Colorado, raised over in Europe as well. He's played center mid. He's played center back in this game. And he pops up with the goal. Portillo, his 6th assist of the season. As Ofori's dragged down. That'll be a yellow card for Daniel Bruce. Looking for the 7th win on the road of the year for New Mexico United. Trying to take advantage of the man-up situation here after the red card to Hassan Endam. Is there another equalizer in this one for New York Red Bulls too? So John Murphy standing over this one. The introduction of him and De Leon have been crucial to the comeback. The first time for New York Red Bulls too. That one's turned over. Moreno wins it back. Oh, clipped over the top. Moreno, and he can't keep it in play. For New Mexico, they can't turn it off right now.
Yeah.
5 minutes left, a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time, but they're up 2-1.
No, they want more. They want the insurance, and I know one man for sure does, Armando Moreno. I think that guy doesn't want to score against his former side, and on the debut after ACL reconstruction surgery.
Miscommunication there. It looked like Ryden thought Tambakis was going to come out and get it. Adebayo Smith takes it quickly. Cleared away by Swartz. De Leon battling. Brett gets a touch to it. Knapp wins the tackle, but it goes as a foul against him.
Much to the displeasure as many Red Bull 2 players, as well as the fans here, begging for a couple more chances here in this match, but it's looking like those are going to be few and far between. Maybe one or two more.
Portillo takes it quickly. Over the top. Williams will run it down, and you have to think now. And we'll try and waste out some clock in the corners. Ofori comes back to help. New York wins it back. 9th minute goal for Nico Brett to give New Mexico United the lead off the assist from Jerome Kiesewetter. New York Red Bulls 2 equalized on the stunning solo effort from Steven Serwada as Nico Politis can't get his hands on this one. Battling around, and a penalty kick coming for New Mexico United. A simple one there for Austin Saini. Nico Politis drops the ball, and he tries to wrap his arms around Nico Brett to get to it.
I don't know the argument there. I'm giving him a bear hug. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, Nico Politis has the ball there. It's just, yeah, it's got to be a pen there.
About 2 hours ago, we came into this game, and you said, don't let Justin Portillo get a chance at the spot. He's got 5 goals, all from the spot this year, and he's looking to make it 6. Justin Portillo, he's got the assist right now on the game-winning goal. Looking to put that insurance goal in and put 3 points in the win column. Portillo, and it's saved by Nico Politis. And Nico Politis with the second touch to it.
What a save by Nico Politis. He said, you know what?
He watched it.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy to stop it.
And we saw Portillo. 2 of the 5 shots he's taken have gone to the goalkeeper's low right side. And Nico Politis was there that time. Is there more left in the miracle here for New York Red Bulls 2? Down a man, down a goal here at home. Serwada, and covered there by Suhi. And the foul will go against Serwada. And a yellow card to boot for Steven Serwada. The 5th yellow card of the game to 4 different New York Red Bull 2 players. What a game we've had.
I'm still a little bit at a loss for words here, Dave, but yeah, you can see
it's fine. It's not a major part of the job.
Serwada desperately trying to get around Suahi there, and that'll be it.
So the 7th road win of the season for New Mexico United in their first trip in their club's history to MSU Soccer Park. It took a while, the 91st minute, for New Mexico United to finally get that winner after the red card to Hassan Endam. What a game we had. End-to-end action. Quality and skill on display. And it was a fun one, and it goes down as another big win for New Mexico United as they move up the Western Conference standings. We'll be back in just a moment here with your post-game coverage of USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
Add drama to every drive. The exhilarating.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish the teenager in front of his academy teammates. The New Mexico United fans that had traveled out, a lot of them getting to enjoy their team, get 3 points on the road, and of course, the return of New Jersey native Amando Moreno, his debut in 2022. David Goss and Connor Lade with you as you see the fans celebrate. But Connor, what a game we had from start to finish.
Gutsy performance really from both sides. New Mexico, class in the first half. Red Bull, it was a struggle. Second half, very, very gutsy performance. Probably one of the more gutsier. We've seen them go internal multiple times and let the game get out of control. They really stuck to it, made this a match. They're going to walk away disappointed. You know, another red card, another loss, but something to build on, as you can see Ibrahim Sagaya bringing the guys in.
And as you said, gutsy for New Mexico United. They took that counter punch coming out of halftime. They held steady, and then they were able to get the red card, get the man advantage, create in the attack, and they finally got the winner right here as you see it. Justin Portillo, his 6th assist of the season. Will Seymour, his first goal in his USL Championship career, and a huge performance from him across multiple positions, and a great game that we got here at MSU Soccer Park. If you're in the area, and you don't have to wait very long, as New York Red Bulls 2 return home in 3 days here at MSU Soccer Park against Memphis 901, and then face off against Atlanta United 2 in the Charleston Battery in a 4-game homestand. So thank you all for joining us here on ESPN+. Hope you had a good weekend. Big weekend of USL Championship Soccer, and we'll talk to you again soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.